Just hockey show. I'm the Trev. It's too sweet. Anyway, continuing on with my division predictions. I'm going to stay in the East. I'm going to finish up the East right now. We're going to talk about the Metro. So we talked about the Atlantic yesterday. Makes sense, right? And the Metro being the Metro Division, you could make the argument the top five will always be as competitive as they've always been. I don't think that's going to change. Bottom three, your usual suspects. But let's dive into it. I'll tell you what I think is going to finish where. Now, when you think of the top of the crop, as far as this division is concerned, you always think of the usual suspects. It's always the Penguins, the Capitals, in some cases lately, the Hurricanes. It's probably not going to change much, but I think your order in your usual suspects is definitely in for a good shake, in my own point of view. And remember, this is just my opinion and my prediction. Feel free to counter my predictions. Actually, I encourage it. Let me know where I'm out to lunch. But anyway, let's start off with number 8. Last in the division and 30th overall. I'm picking the Flyers. I know in the past few seasons, I've always given the Flyers the benefit of the doubt, even though growing up they were one of my most despised franchises. I've always been the one to say, oh, wait till Hart busts out, defense is just going to be able to keep everything out and whatever else. I'm done giving the Flyers the benefit of the doubt. And I don't know if it's a case of hoping that they'd be serious playoff contenders or even a winning team with the current management they have. I'm not going to be one of those guys that's going to jump on the wagon and say, they ain't winning nothing as long as Fletcher's in charge. But they really probably won't win much if Fletcher's in charge. I mean, outside D'Angelo, what big agent splash did they make in the offseason? And if Carter Hart's going to bust out at any point in time, is he going to have to stand up to do it? Because we've been waiting patiently. So, yeah, I'm dumping on the Flyers. I'm calling them 30th overall because, there's still going to be 2 more teams that are going to suck worse than them. And that's being generous. 7th, going with the Islanders. Now, if we thought the Flyers did a lot of nothing, the Islanders did much, much more nothing than the Flyers did. I mean, they traded for Romanov at the draft. If they'd have known that trade was going to turn to Kirby Dach going to Montreal, I'm sure they would have reconsidered their position. But I think so long as Sorokin has the defense he has in front of him, I don't know how well it's going to work. And again, new head coach, taking away Trotz might not have been the best move because Trotz actually encouraged these guys. But decisions are decisions, right? And on top of that, I worry about my boy Varley. This is probably his last year on the island. But it was good seeing the Islanders competitive for a couple years, at least. Hopefully this isn't a turn back to mediocrity for them. One highlight, if the leaks are to be believed, and the rumors are to be true, the Fisherman's coming back. That's something. Number 6, picking Jersey. Now, to be perfectly honest, I'm not exactly sure I'm 100% comfortable leaving them in 6th, in my prediction anyway. Just because the team's in front of them. I mean, some might fall off the slope, but if Heischer and Hughes catch fire at the right time this season, it could be a great year for them. Picking up Palat to get that cup experience, which Jersey desperately needs, is never a bad move either. Considering Jersey is essentially in win now mode, I think they have to realize that winning now does not always happen now. It will take some time. Vanacek Blackwood as your goaltending. Blackwood will be good once he's re-signed because he is a restricted free agent after this season. But if this is the last year Jersey goes without making a playoffs for a bit, that's a great thing. I mean, next year is a long time away, but that's next year. For this year, they're just missing the hump. Number 5 is going to be the Caps. It pains me to put them this low. It really does, considering the team I have ahead of them. Backstrom out, possibly for good. Wilson out for what they're saying is going to be a good chunk of the season. Hagelin on IR. It's essentially, watching Ovi go to the record. But I mean, getting Kemper as your starting goalie is not a bad decision. I mean, he just came off winning the cup and he's having the best seasons of his life outside Arizona. They'll win, but make it the playoffs? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be comfortable calling wild cards in the Eastern Conference. I think it's going to be a straight 4-4, and if that's the case, Washington misses the playoffs. But it'll be fun watching Ovi chase that record. Number 4, I'm picking the Penguins. Now, this is one instant where I want to be wrong. I want to be able to put Washington ahead of Pittsburgh, but given Washington State, it didn't feel right. But neither does putting Pittsburgh number 4. Either way, though, I think Pittsburgh will definitely have much more tenacity than Washington. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Re-signing Malkin and Letang was a dumb idea, but I don't run the Penguins. They'll make the playoffs. How long they'll remain in the playoffs, I don't know. And I think the biggest question in Pittsburgh has to remain goaltending. Jari and DeSmith, I don't know how you could be comfortable in that alternative. For number 3, I'm picking Columbus. Now, I'm not saying adding Gaudreau is the be-all, end-all for Columbus, but it definitely helps. Signing up Laine for a couple more years to go with Gaudreau helps out even more. Boquist, Werenski on the back end, plus Goodbranson. That's a good way to bolster up your defense. And with Merzlikins and Korpsalo proven to be a very solid tandem, expect them to make some noise. I mean, sure, last season was a dud. This season, not so much. Number 2 is going to be the Rangers. Now keep in mind, I'm talking regular season New York Rangers. What they do and what Panarin does in the playoffs is what they do in the playoffs. I'm not at the playoff point yet. Now, first I want to say a big deal being made about their kid line, Kako, Hedel, and Lafreniere, not being able to click or connect. Look for them to explode. If not all 3 of them, 1 or 2 for sure, are definitely going to tear off the map. Fox on defense, never a bad thing. Shesterkin in net, never a bad thing. And you got to think of all the positivity and confidence they're coming off of in the last 2 seasons. They have the best defenseman. They have the best goalie. They have a high-scoring forward in Panarin. They've got that kid line. They've got Zibanejad. The list goes on. Like, the payoff is now. And this is me calling your President's Trophy winners, the Carolina Hurricanes. So picking up Burns and Pacioretty for essentially nothing. That doesn't hurt at all. Now, when Pacioretty gets to play, it's another thing, since he's on IR right now. Aho is going to have a year. Svechnikov is going to have a breakout year, if he hasn't had one already. As I've said in seasons previous, Carolina's built to win, and they're going to start winning in bunches. And if my prediction is to be believed, you're looking at your President's Trophy winners. I know some people might say that's too far-fetched. I don't think it's outside the realm of impossibility. I think it has a great chance of happening. And besides, maybe Svechnikov will pull out a couple more Michigans. I think we're about due for some. And that's my predictions for the Metropolitan Division. So feel free to leave me yours. Let me know where you think I'm completely out to lunch. Let me know if you disagree with me, or if you even agree. Hell, if you want to give me your picks, I'd love to see your picks. Put them in the comments below. Another one of Trev's hockey shows. I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you're at this point. It's a great thing for everybody. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But if you are here, if you've made it this far, Give me a thumbs up. I think I've earned it. And it's good to know you were here. That red button, if you haven't done so already, if you're considering pushing that red button, you know how it'll make you feel. You know what we're going for. And you know, we'll greatly appreciate it. Let's do it up. Socials are in the description down below. So we're done with the East. Moving on to the West. We'll probably start with the Central. Either way, in the meantime, in between time, be looking for more videos from Trev. Later.